Reporting live from Hyper Clubhouse in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Tony Hinchcliffe's performance at Donald Trump's rally in Madison Square Garden this past Sunday has stolen the spotlight, as this is all everyone seems to be talking about all week. As you may have heard, Hinchcliffe made headlines referring to the island of Puerto Rico as garbage. Many comedians have chimed in on the comedian's speech, with many arguing over what constitutes as free speech in stand-up comedy. In that same speech, Hinchcliffe would go back and forth with a Black audience member at the Trump rally, stating that he carved watermelons at a Halloween party with him. This is something that has gone under the radar in mainstream news, as most seem to be outraged at the Puerto Rican line. Because so many didn't raise an issue with the line insulting Blacks, it brings up the question, why are the Black jokes at a Trump rally getting less backlash? But before we get started, elections are about putting people in office who will fight for you, people who will stand on business about the issues that are important to you. Gun violence is the leading cause of death in the United States, especially in communities of color, and we need urgent action. On behalf of HBCU Green Fund, get out and vote to ensure your voice is heard and your values are represented. Vote earlier on Election Day on November 5th. Today we have our very own Comedy Hype analysts, Marvin Hunter and Steve Brown, on the show to talk all about it. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of people are reacting to this, especially when it comes, to comedians. So I'm super excited to have you both on this conversation. Marvin, let me start with you. What's your reaction to it? And as a Black comedian, were you offended, hearing these jokes, he's classifying them as jokes from another comedian?
Well, in the comedy world, there's something called Kill Tony, and that's what Hinchcliffe is known for. And that's what they do. They do edgy jokes, and I have a dark sense of humor. So I'm not, everything can be funny, but there's a time and place for everything. That was not a roast. That was not a roast. And also, he had to get that approved by the Trump people before he said it. And I hate how they're out here like, we didn't know he was going to say it. You're a damn lie. You had to get that approved before he went out there and said it. You knew exactly what he was going to say. Now, as far as the difference between the Puerto Rican line and the watermelon line, I think that because Black people have drank the Kool-Aid, we don't stand up for ourselves. We don't flip out when other people flip out. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know what this fascination is by some Black people with Trump. I will never get it. Black people who don't see racism as a deal breaker, we are not the same.
And yeah, Marvin, I definitely have to agree with you on a lot of parts there. So yeah, no, I think a lot of people can agree with that as well. Steve, let me come to you. Same thing, what's your reaction to it? And as a Black comedian, were you offended by his said jokes?
I wasn't offended by said jokes because that is Tony Hinchcliffe. That's who he is. That's who everybody knows about. That's what everybody knows about him. However, again, I was offended about the timing and how it was done. They knew he was going to do it. And then I said it before when it happened, they were going to disassociate themselves with him. And what they did was they got him to do what he did. I'm sure he wrote in all of his jokes and they had to be approved. And when he did them, they threw him under the bus. So honestly, I kind of fault him for not reading the room or reading the certain meaning we're in a time right now where there's a lot of high racial tension. So why even go there? You know what I'm saying? And then for them to even allow that to happen, that is just a direct slap in the face to us and everybody who the jokes were about. So, and as far as Black people, we are riding for other races more than we are riding for ourselves. And I don't know. I was talking to a friend the other day about racial pride. When are we going to start showing racial pride and standing up for us? I mean, yes, we can love other races, and because you have racial pride, that doesn't necessarily mean you're a racist. But other races are showing racial pride, and they're not only showing racial pride, they're showing racial disrespect, and it's mostly to Black people, and we sit there and take it. That's my problem. That's why I was offended.
Yeah, no, and yeah, I obviously I'm not familiar with the gentleman, but I have seen a lot of people talk about this is how he makes his jokes and all the things. But I think, as you both said, it's all about timing. The thing that does baffle my mind is seeing the Trump administration like both of you said, pull away from it, like, oh, we're disassociating ourselves. But I've also seen a lot of talks that some people are feeling like this could cost Trump the election. Marvin, coming back to you, what do you think? How do you think this is going to impact the election for Trump?
Oh, they're definitely taking a hit because the Latinos came out of woodwork. They came out of the woodwork about it. So he's definitely going to take a hit, and I love to see it. And I would like to say this to people who are saying, lighten up, people. He's a comedian. Listen, as comics, we walk that line. That's our job, to walk that line and poke at that line and stuff like that. But also, there's such thing called freedom of speech, but there's a freedom of consequences too. He needs to take all of these licks. He needs to. He said it. He got to own it, and he needs to take these licks. I have no sympathy for him as a fellow comic because this is what we do. He knew what he was going to say, and he knew what the possibilities were. So I know, and I haven't heard him crying about it. Well, I think he did put up a post. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to hear no crying about it from him. We all comics. We know what it is.
No, yeah, and even somebody created like a compilation, and that was just the energy of the night, where there were just so many racist things just blatantly being said, and nobody. It's like as if it's normal. It was just like, it was crazy to me, like, to see these things on such a platform, such as a presidential rally. Blew my mind. Blew my mind.
I don't understand, Marv. You said Latinos came out of the woodworks, but I saw in the news that there are Latinos still standing with Trump. And I just don't understand and how us as a people and some Latinos can still ride with this man when he is blatantly giving you racism dead in your face. And he's telling you what he's going to do to you. And not only that, he's letting you know that he doesn't value you. And you're still talking about voting for him. That blows my mind. And it is depressing. As far as Tony, I agree with you, Marvin. Anything he gets as a result of this, it is what it is. Because honestly, I think that it was one of those high risk, high reward things. Hey, if it works, I'm going to be the man. It didn't work, bro. It didn't work. So, you got to take that. You got to take that L and run with it. You got to eat it.
Yep.
Yeah, and also with the Latinos, we're also seeing a lot of Black people take, still stand with him. Really quick though, before I go to that. So, to your point, Marvin. So Tony, here was Tony's response. He said, "These people have no sense of humor. Wow, that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist." I love this. This is the part that tripped me out. That I have Black friends. He said, "I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. I made fun of everyone. I watched the whole set. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon."
But he didn't make fun of everybody. He didn't make fun of everybody. Because if you make fun of some of Trump people, this is a comedic thing. Poke at them too. If you're roasting, roast everybody. Because at a roast, everybody gets it. You didn't do that. You went after certain groups that you knew were, a hot button topic with a lot of people. That's what you did. You didn't roast everybody. So I don't want to hear that shit.
And Marvin, another thing, you said it best. At a roast, you roast everybody. Yes. Not one white joke was told. And from what I saw, no Jew jokes were told. You know why no Jew jokes were told? Because they stick together like this. And I guarantee if he had a disrespected the Jews, the next day he would be on Fox News and all the other news outlets apologizing. When are we going to get that apology? And Trump still hasn't addressed it. He said that he didn't know who the guy was. He didn't even hear the joke, and he don't even care to know who he is. But it was at your convention. You knew. Yeah. And again, every TV show that you've done, Marvin, I've done, and we do material. What do we have to do first before we hit the stage? Send our material. We got to submit our material. They knew it, and they okayed it, and that's what it was. And Black people, if y'all are not seeing this by now, something is terribly wrong. It is, and it's a sad situation.
Because it's at a point now, as far as with me, it's not even a difference of opinion. It's like there's something wrong with you. Like there's really something wrong with you. Now, I don't agree, but I could accept if somebody African American said, "Well, I'm not gonna vote for nobody." Okay, I had to accept that. But when you try to pump Trump up like the better person and the better candidate, it's something wrong with you.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, he is an amoral person, and you identify with amoral people. That's what that is. Now, you take it however the hell you want to in the comments. I really couldn't give a damn. If you're mad, scratch your ass and get glad. You'll be fine.
But Marvin, let me say this too. As far as the people not voting, if you don't vote, I ain't mad at you. I'm minding my business. It's the people out there that's telling people not to vote. Man, sit your ugly ass down and listen.
Exactly.
Get your ass out the way. If you're not gonna join the fight, shut your ass up and get out the way. We don't need to.
Or if you're gonna do that, do it on your platform. Do it on your page. Don't come on other people's pages and say that shit.
No, as a matter of fact, don't say shit. You ain't got a dog in the fight. If something happens and that affects you and your family, you are not allowed to say nothing. Take it because you then take on your responsibility of going to do the simplest thing, and that's going and voting.
But the mere thought of a civic duty today, it offends people. And I don't know how we got here, but it offends people. So, it is.
Marvin, I'm sorry. We forgot Symphony was sitting there. We got carried away. We sorry, Symphony. We sorry.
No, I love it. I love being able to see the passion come out because it is a big election. We're seeing, our country be divided. I feel like I'm watching a reality show. I like the things that I'm seeing and how you can just say racist things now, or you can just do, and it doesn't matter. It's like,
and it's okay.
Yeah. And it's a scary time. So, I love being able to have discussions like this, especially because a lot of these conversations are people talking about Black men not voting. So, it just goes to show sometimes I think headlines are pushed, but I see Black men having the conversation. So I appreciate you both for chiming in on this topic with me. It is definitely a sensitive one. I have no idea where times are, but I just tell people around me, man, like, if there's not a time to pray, now's the time to pray because I have no idea where this country is headed.
Somebody just tell me to stand till Jesus come back.
Come on now, because okay. No, I appreciate you.
It's
both.
Weird out here.
It's weird.
I appreciate you both for chiming in on this topic. To end on a lighter note, of course, I like to know what y'all have going on. I'm so scared to go to Steve because even though Steve is on a different set right now, Steve, I'm gonna just start with you because I know you wouldn't. I know.
Yeah, I ain't got no bottoms on. Listen, Symphony, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of you trying to correct me. If I'm not in the studio and I'm in one of my own places in my comfort zone, why can I not have on any drawers? Why can't I just put on the t-shirt for the show? They see up here. Now I can stand up because I'm not ashamed of me. God made me. So I'm here, I'm comfortable, I'm naked at the bottom, I'm cool. I'm good.
We like you, cool. What do you have coming up, Stephen? How can people follow you?
The Yeah We Talk Like This podcast. We're back, bigger, better than ever. We're doing it at the Comedy Hype Studios. Thank you, Comedy Hype. And we're ready to go, man. Episodes dropping every Friday. And of course, this weekend I'll be in Seattle, Washington at Nate Jackson Super Funny Comedy Club. First two shows already sold out. We about to get it, people. So yes, and of course, you will see me somewhere trying to encourage our people to vote. Vote, people, vote.
Absolutely. Last and certainly not least, Mr. Marvin. What do you have?
Well, this weekend I'll be at a jazz / R&B soiree with me and Vanessa Fraction, and we're performing there down the city of Jonesboro. But also, I just shot my comedy special. October. We are in the middle of editing that, so look for that coming out, and we're very, very excited about that. But you can get at me at Comedian Marvin H1. That's Comedian Marvin H1 on Instagram and TikTok.
I forgot mine. I'm sorry, Comedian Steve Brown. I'm sorry, Comic Steve Brown on Instagram and Comedian Steve Brown on Facebook. Hey, Marv, you by yourself, man. Hey, listen, next episode, man, shoot with no bottoms on. Trust me.
How I ain't got nothing? How you know I got some pants on now? I'm in the comfort of my situation.
I'm saying, man, let them hang, people. Let them hang.
I appreciate you both so much for chiming in on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts about why Black jokes at Trump's rally got less backlash? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, your vote is your voice. On behalf of HBCU Green Fund, get loud about issues that impact your community. Vote earlier on Election Day on November 5th. And stay up to date with the latest news and comedy by subscribing right here to our YouTube channel. Hit the bell and select all so you can receive all notifications to our content and not just some. And check out Hypers Club for all your cool and original merchandise and content. And lastly, for our YouTube viewers, if you like this story, send us a super thanks by hitting the button below, and you can tip us what you want to show your support. Reporting live from Hyper Clubhouse in Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Vote and let them hang.